Hey guys, welcome back to the Let's Get Real podcast. So today we have Ryan Atkin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name's Ryan Atkin, and my company, my business is Atkin Coaching. I am a female transformation coach. I'm very much on the avenue of lifestyle coaching as well. So promoting a healthy lifestyle that's sustainable, no quick fixes, something that you can enjoy, and something that I know over time through tried and tested gets the results as well. So that's what it's about for me, is getting my clients from A to B, and B is the happiest, healthiest version of themselves. And on that journey between A to B, you never really see that in like a photo or, a feedback, a piece of feedback. But I want to make that journey between the A and the B like the most enjoyable possible. So at the end of it, you say it weren't a struggle, so to speak.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's all anyone can really ever ask for, like from a coach, is to not only get the results, but to do it in a sustainable, enjoyable way. And I think to make things like the funnest way possible is going to be the best way to get the results.
Yeah, you need to enjoy the process.
Exactly. So you said that you train females. So what are their main goals? So do you mainly help with weight loss or muscle gain? What kind of things?
I've worked with, over the years, I've worked with a variety from, muscle building to fat loss. Probably say 85% of the people in my community, which I know we'll talk about shortly, is fat loss focused. So fat loss has been the main focus, and some people just join just to improve their habits, to learn more about nutrition. I'd say nutrition as a coach, it's something that is definitely a strong point of mine. And I've actually got someone on board within the team now who's, designing new creative recipes, because as much as meal plans I don't actually think work long term, I think you should, educate a client on tracking their own calories so that you can go about your day and factor in any foods that you want, essentially within reason. I do think an update of recipes is quite fresh for people, and it's quite nice to have that inspiration to go from. So I've got someone on board doing that as well. So yeah, female fat loss is generally the majority of my work, although I do have a few clients focusing on building muscle too.
So why did you choose to focus on like helping women rather than just like both, or men? Or
it's a question I get asked quite a bit, to be honest. And I think like it started out, so when I first started my personal training journey, I started in a small studio with one-to-one clients. And basically the first person I trained was my partner's sister, and that was free, just to get some experience. I'd just qualified, I'd just done these mean nothing now, but like the women's, was it weight loss NASM or something? I'd done that, and that kind of pushed me that way a little bit. But I was like, right, I'm going to train her sister, see what we can do. We actually done really well, got some good results in. And then that kind of led to someone messaging me. That was my first paid client then. And that was a female, which then led to 2 more and 3 more and 4 more and 5 more, 6 more, and so on. I have trained guys in the past as well. There were some guys along the way. My results tended to come with females. Females are great. They're strong. Do you know what I mean? You just crack on. And I think like the results I've had with females speak for themselves. And it's something that's just progressed over time. And it's kind of gone to where we're at today with over 100 female clients in a community, all chasing their own goals and stuff. So yeah, it's just been a knock-on effect really. And I kind of got pushed that way. And I just said, look, I'm just going to niche out into, learning more about, I want to say female training, but the training I would probably program guys and females is fairly similar, some tweaks, but just to learn more about the female body as well, and just how, to get the best results of them.
Amazing. And so obviously you mentioned your community. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So Results with Ryan is my community. So as it stands, we open on a 3-monthly basis. So it's really exclusive. We basically, it's not, I don't want to say a selection process, but if I don't think, I can help you or with the right fit, I'd rather recommend you to someone, that I think is more suited. If it's a one-to-one PT in the gym, if you've never touched a weight, you don't know anything about like movement, your knowledge is very minimal, then I would maybe suggest seeing a one-to-one PT. However, having said that, with the training programs I provide, they all come with video demonstrations and things as well. So upon sign up to Results with Ryan, you get access to the private community, which is a big thing for me. So that's where all my work's posted. So the trackers, the weekly check-ins, I do a weekly check-in live, the updates, we have guest speakers on board. We've had who comes to mind, Holly B Fitness, you've probably seen her on TikTok, Victoria and Eve. We've had some great names on board who discuss hot topics. We have a meetup. Obviously I'm based in Glasgow, so generally is here. However, I do have clients in England, Wales, different countries, so obviously they're not going to be able to make the monthly meetups, but it's a big community, all supportive, all like-minded individuals. We all push each other and we all help each other, sharing our wins, our losses. As well as that, you get the training program, the nutrition program, the check-in forms each week, which I have a coach on board as well who delivers feedback on that. So realistically, you've got everything you need to get amazing results, and you're part of something special that's growing, and you've got the support of me and Rebecca, the other coach. We have a mindset coach on board as well. She's actually a psychologist, so she's an expert. So obviously I can say, do this to improve your mood, your self-esteem, things like that, walking more, meditating, all these things that I recommend that I've done myself and I know they work. But to go to a more in detail, we've got her on board and she does monthly mindset sessions, which is amazing. We've got another PT in the group who does weekly HIIT classes. So you can see here, like from when I first started one-to-one, which was a session and a nutrition plan, to where we are now. It's the full package. I want to deliver a full lifestyle coaching experience where you get everything you need. Some people do just need a training plan, nutrition plan, and check-ins. That's fine. And there are people in the community that do just crack on with that. But most in the community are very involved and do enjoy that side of things. It's really engaged. I love it, to be honest. Passionate about it. So it's all worth it.
And it looks like your business is doing so well. And hearing about how it's expanded from like one-to-one to like group coaching and stuff like that. Like, do you prefer the group coaching or do you prefer kind of one-to-one? Because the group coaching is like less contact with them, isn't it?
Good one, because it's technically not, because how I looked at this was when I was in the gym one-to-one, all my clients came twice a week. So it was an hour session. They'd get 2 hours a week of my time and, a WhatsApp at the start of the week, say, have a good week. And, they'd get the nutrition plan, they'd get me if they needed anything. Generally, my one-to-one clients just cracked on and just came to my session. So really, they were getting 2 hours of my time. These are getting, I'd never say I'm a 24-hour coach. And I think anyone who says that is lying, because you can't work 24 hours a day. But I'm very available. So we've got the group. You're not just, the good thing about the group is oftentimes when clients post a question in the group, sometimes I've gone in to answer that question. Someone's already answered it. They're supported by other clients on the journey. Maybe that client's a month ahead. Maybe they're a month behind and they're asking another client the question. So you've always got support. And I find the group coaching works so much better because the client doesn't become like solely reliant on being, not spoon-fed, but like counting reps behind you and being so like reliant on that coach. Yes, I'm there. Yes, I'll answer questions. Yes, I'll give you everything you need, the check-ins, the accountability, the feedback, the weekly lives, everything in between. But you kind of, go and utilize this knowledge that I've given you and get the results. And it's working because the results are coming in. So, it's comes with its other stresses, as the business has grown and stuff. I think the problems have changed from what they were before, or any slight issues or whatever, but that's all part of growing, I think, and helping more people. You are going to come across people with different goals and, different aspirations, and it's all a learning curve. So it's been amazing though. I love it. I enjoy it. And to anyone listening, Results with Ryan, definitely.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with what you said earlier about not spoon feeding your clients, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't really want your client to have to rely on you and stick with you for their whole life. You want to be able to give them all the tools and the techniques that they're going to need to be able to do it by themselves. So
and for them to like understand why they're doing something.
Exactly.
Not just do this.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I always like to explain
100%.
Why, like what macros are, why I'm telling you to have high protein. I don't want to just be like throwing
stuff at them and saying just do this and then you'll get the results. They need to know why, and I think that's clearly something that you do with your clients, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think a big thing in the business that I do in Results with Ryan is so when clients check in on a Friday, so they've got between Friday and Sunday to check in, we give feedback via email, myself and Rebecca, the other coach, into their inbox on a Monday. So they're getting that personal feedback, but also on the Monday evening at 6:30, we have a live within the Facebook, and on the check-in forms, generally the last question is, do you have any questions for Monday's live? We all jump on a big live, I answer the questions, and I get to explain it, in real detail to everyone. And often, if one person's been thinking a question, and let's say there's 40 people on the live, there's probably 2 or 3 others on that live that have gone, oh my God, I've been thinking the same. I've been wanting to ask that. So you're answering more than one person's question. And generally, it's just really interactive having those check-ins and group support and group check-ins, because, you see that other people are in the same boat as you. They're struggling with the same things. Whereas before, when I've worked one-to-one, they don't know that because they don't see these other people, and they start worrying about certain things. I'm like, it's fine to worry about these things, but you're not alone. There's a lot of people also going through the same, and they're like, oh, really? There's a lot, and you see that in group coaching. So it's amazing.
Yeah, that's so nice. And I think in particular, so you said that most of your clients are gearing towards fat loss and weight loss. So for anyone listening who, obviously it's the new year and quite a lot of people want to get into shape and they want to kind of focus on a goal, what would be your main tips and tricks for someone if they did want to go through a weight loss phase?
Do you know what I'd say? And I've just literally posted this in my Facebook community, so you've got an exclusive. So what I said was, I was actually on a call, and she was like, do you know what, Ryan, I'm not going to go all in right now for these next 2 weeks. I'm just going to ease myself in, because I end up burning myself out. And what a lot of people do at this time of year, they've just had Christmas, they've probably eaten a bit more, they've probably drank a bit more if they drink. And, routine's been off, sleep's maybe been a bit different, the sleeping pattern. So you come into January, you've got all this motivation and you want to get going, and you try everything. You go, right, I'm going to get my steps up. I'm going to, my nutrition, right, we're going to restrict my nutrition quite a bit because I've been eating a lot. We're going to train 5 times, even though they've only been training 2 or 3 before. We're going to do all this and this and this. And then by the end of January, this is probably why you see the gyms go quiet. They go, I can't do this. It's way too hard. Well, why not ease yourself in? Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That'd been my advice, to be honest, my best advice. People try and do too much at once, when realistically, if they just started tracking the calories, increase the movement a little bit, maybe, got a healthy sleep routine, and just kind of watched what they were eating, you'd make good progress. You don't need to do too much. Start slowly, and you'll get to next year and be in a completely different position.
Yeah, definitely. I always say, pick one thing, let's start with that, because you can always add extra things in later on, especially when you start to kind of your progress starts to slow down a little bit. You can then add in extra things. But if you throw the whole kitchen sink at it at once, it's just going to be overwhelming, and then you're going to burn out, and it's just not going to be sustainable or enjoyable.
Yeah, a lot of
100%. 100%. I've got my new clients, getting emailed today, who've submitted consultation forms this week for Results with Ryan. And what I'm going to do is on Monday do an onboarding, a welcome Zoom, and just let them know that, to ease themselves in. It might seem like a lot at first, having a training program, having a nutrition plan, but just take your time. It's not a race. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So along with that, giving yourself too much at once, is there any other common mistakes that you kind of see a lot? Yeah.
A common one is probably, you'll know it as well, is probably someone who submit a consultation form to me. Yesterday, it said on it that they did like 3 classes and they went for a run a week. And I personally believe for the best body shape changes, your examples of that is sticking to, might seem a bit boring to some people if they've been doing these classes that, and I mean, I used to run classes and you push people through it, don't you? You make them sweat, they leave, and that's you. Most classes, there's no real structure to them. You just kind of getting people to sweat on. So there's no real chance for progression. But when you focus on weights, on resistance training, progressive overload, and just focus on the basics, you don't have to go in and do 10 exercises. Why not go in and do 4 or 5, 6 exercises? Focus on getting stronger, focus on lifting heavier over time, or maybe it is adding a few more reps, however you want to progress. And then over time, that volume will increase. You're going to see the changes you want. And it might seem boring doing that for, 6, 8, 12, whatever it is, weeks. But that's how you'll see the best results, definitely, rather than the cardio and the classes.
Yeah, 100%. I've definitely had a few new clients that I've had welcome calls with recently, and they kind of said, right, so what cardio are we doing? And I said, actually, we're not doing any. Like, we're literally not doing any at all. We're going to focus on your weights. We're going to get you stronger. We're going to get you feeling more confident in the gym. And yeah, potentially in the future, we might need to add a tiny bit of cardio in there, but cardio doesn't equal fat loss. And I think that's such a big mistake that people make.
Yeah,
100%.
I think like beginners, I think a lot of them are scared to kind of go into the weight section. So they kind of just settle for cardio and think, you know what, I'm just going to do a class because there's someone telling me what to do, or they're going to sit on a machine for an hour.
Yeah.
But going to the weight section, like, yes, it's scary at first.
And I think as well, if you look back to when we were at school, your PE classes were cardio. Like, that's all we were ever taught. No one at school ever taught us about lifting weights or the benefits of it or anything. So I think, especially with beginners, and also in particular with training women, they have all these misconceptions about weights are going to make me bulky, and actually it's going to make me bigger rather than get me leaner, and all of this kind of stuff. And it all comes from a point where I guess we were all slightly let down when we were younger, and we were given the wrong information in terms of that actually weights are so beneficial to not just getting the results you want, but also to like warning off like osteoporosis and stuff as we get older. Like, it's so beneficial to us.
Yeah, to your health. And I think weights and resistance training in general should be prescribed, because the benefits not just to you physically, but to you. I mean, I train now just to feel better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be honest, I've completely switched that focus from, in the past I've maybe focused on really physical focus, but now it's like I go in this morning, I got back in after the holiday, and I was just like, God, I feel so much better already. Your mood's elevated after 45 minutes to an hour. You're in there, you're done, and then it's like, wow, I feel so much better. And in actual fact, it's less demanding, I think, on your body than cardio. So like, if you go for an hour run versus 45 minutes weights or an hour weights, I actually think, you preserve more energy, and you're not as, this is my opinion on it anyway, you're not as actually, your body's not as stressed afterwards. Yes, you put through stress on those exercises, but cardio can take its toll, especially if you're doing, I mean, I did hundreds, 5Ks consecutively before Christmas for charity, day after day for 100 days. My knees were hammered. Do you know what I mean? Like, hammered.
That's how brutal.
Yeah, and like, I had to, of course, up my calories and stuff for that. But I think, females probably more so, I would say, should focus more on both should focus on resistance training. But what I've noted working with guys and females, guys that I've worked with tended to do weights, but in actual fact, they needed a bit of cardio added to get the results they wanted. Females, the opposite, will come to me and they'll be like, oh, I do, 3 classes and 2 runs a week. And that's when I say, I think you probably need to switch the focus to doing, 4 or 5 weights. And you can do a cardio. But I've actually just done the same as you, Grace, on the consultation form responses. I've put cardio optional. 1 to 2 can be beneficial for your health. But the fact that you're getting your steps up day to day, you'll be moving more and you're training with resistance, it's not required, so I'm not prescribing it, because I always get asked the same question: where's the cardio on my plan? I'm like, if you want to do it, but just be mindful it will dip into your energy for your sessions. So
exactly. And I think also like so many people will then, the most common one that I get as well is that my clients go, okay, so I say, tell me about the sessions that you do. And if they do weights, they say, okay, well, I do a 20-minute run to begin with, and then I do my weights. And I said, if you're going to do the run, which is not necessary, it's not necessary at all, do it at the end of your session when you've got the leftover energy. You can use that on cardio rather than doing it to begin with.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. It's a way to like burn extra calories. And don't get me wrong, after a run, most people, not everyone will agree with this, but I do feel better after a run. It clears your head. I think it's like moving meditation for me, but I've learned to get to that point. You know, at first a run's horrible. It hurts. So there are benefits to it, and I know it's great for your heart and everything, but I think in terms of progress and results and long term, like weights is the way to go.
Especially if you want to build muscle. Like if you're doing so much cardio, you know, you need to obviously change your nutrition, and you know, it's just
yeah. I don't know if don't know what your goals are, but like I've had clients that have started with me and they've been doing like 12,000 steps a day or whatever, and the goal is to build muscle, and I've said to them, believe it or not, I'm going to take steps back. So you're going to try and max at 8,000, and they're like, oh my god, what? But that's just, you know, you need to conserve that energy for those sessions, so you give your body that chance to build.
Yeah, and I think that's also what's so beneficial about having a coach, is that they really look at what you need, and they look at your goals and where you currently are, and they can help you personalize what you need in order to get to where you want to be. So obviously in terms of getting a result, you've also said as well, you really want to focus on the whole lifestyle of your clients. So what are the best lifestyle changes that your clients can make in order to get to their results?
In terms of lifestyle changes, definitely your sleep. Get a good sleep routine, which then factors in evening and morning routine. So this is probably my main tip, would be nail your evening routine. You know, if you're up late on your phone watching Netflix, you know, the classics, you're probably gonna have a bad sleep. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I also watch an hour at night, but like if it starts getting to midnight and you know you're up at 6, I mean,
do you know what's funny? We were literally on the phone to each other at 2 a.m. last night. This is why we're laughing.
Because we were telling you then.
Yeah, we were talking about work stuff, and then next thing we know, we looked at the phone and we were like, "Oh my god,
we should probably go to bed now."
Brilliant. I know sometimes you say these things and then you're like, oh my god, I've got some of these bad habits creeping.
I say to my clients like
how important sleep is in particular, and
I'm a hypocrite.
Definitely. So I'd say that one, nail your evening routine, because then that makes your morning routine better because you've had a good sleep. And then, you know,
definitely
what you do in the morning is up to you. Everyone's different. I've tried honestly everything myself, and I'll recommend the things that I know work and stuff. So for me, just getting up, getting that first glass of water in, getting out, getting a bit of fresh air. And then for me, it's training in the morning. I get my morning session done. I'll come back for breakfast, but I'll do a bit of work, then come back for breakfast. But that's what works for me. In the past, I've tried journaling. I've tried, you know, I am meditating at the minute, only 5-10 minutes a day. This is new to me, so I'm building this in. There's various different habits you can do, but I think in terms of lifestyle, nailing your evening and morning routine will help a hell of a lot. Kickstart your day and improve your sleep. And when your sleep's better, you're training. If you're building muscle, you're going to grow better, more optimally. Fat loss as well, you're not going to be as stressed. So your body's going to be able to drop the body fat you want because your body's not in a state of stress. So there's so many benefits to having a good evening and morning routine. And it is hard. I know it's hard when your phone's like there and you know you want to be on it. For me, I put it on charge. I actually put it in another room now. But, you know, even if it's away from the bed or whatever, that can really help. And actually saying to yourself, you know, they can wait in the morning, so Claudia can wait till the morning. Type of thing, you know. But yeah, that's probably my main lifestyle tip, I'd say.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think especially with sleep, something that I've been okay, apart from last night, something that I've been saying to myself is that, you know what, even if I go to bed 10 minutes earlier, okay, next day I'll make it 20 minutes earlier, next day I'll make it 30 minutes earlier. All of those tiny things add up. You don't need to all of a sudden go, okay, I'm going to start going to bed 3 hours earlier to what I was doing before, because realistically, that's just not going to happen. You're just going to lie there not being able to sleep. So I think it's, the small things. And then, like you said, I really like the fact that you said that nail the evening routine first and then focus on the morning, because everyone has a thing about morning routines, and morning routines are super important, but they don't seem to think about the evening routine then impacting the morning. So I think that's really interesting. Exactly. Do you have, like, what would be your typical evening and morning routine?
Mine, let me think. So I could tell you my morning routine to a T. So let me think back to a normal day for me, which was way before Christmas now, because I've just been away. So evening routine, generally what I'll do is I'll probably have my dinner about 6 or 7. For me, it's more family time with the little one. I've just had a little boy 6 months ago. So for now, I'm trying to focus my evenings on family time and being with him and stuff and being present and that. So I do watch an hour of Netflix or telly, but it's not, if it's 9 o'clock, I am quite like, nah, it's not happening, because then it's going to be 10 and I've got to, we've got to wind down, maybe feed him. And then it's going to be 11 and then, half 11. And it's like, nah. Whereas if it's like 8 o'clock, we'll put Netflix on for an hour, chill out, whatever. So do things you enjoy as well. It's not like you cannot do this, you cannot watch TV. Do these things that you enjoy that keep you human. We're not all robots. Like, I mean, we're not all robots. So and morning routine is, I'm quite strict on that. So I'll get up, my alarm goes off at 6. I used to be like a 4:30, 5 person, but when I was 1-to-1, but that's just not me anymore. And I've realized that just don't work. So you go into bed early and it's just not feasible. So for me, 6 o'clock alarm. Do I always get up at my first alarm? I'm going to be honest, I don't always. And I say that you should, but generally between 6 and past, I'll get up. I go downstairs, glass of water, let the dog out, and then I will go to the gym, train. I go into the steam room for 10 minutes after to chill, just relax. Then I go into a cafe in the gym. I do an hour to, this morning was a lot longer, just with me being away and coming back to a lot of stuff. But generally an hour to 2 hours work. Then I'll go back, have breakfast. So I actually train fasted, which is weird for a lot of people. I actually think it's better probably to get some calories in so that you've got more energy. But for me, it just works for me getting out the door, and I can come back, chill with the little one, get some lunch and so on. And then I do some work in the afternoon as and when. But yeah, I think the morning routines kickstarts your day and just gives you, that positive start you need. Oh, and I've started meditating. So I do meditate before I leave. 5. I'm doing the Headspace app at the minute, 5-10 minutes, but it seems to be working. But it's all new to me. So
yeah, I've tried this actually.
Yeah, I think meditating is definitely something that's really, I think before it was very much almost looked down on, like, oh, you're some kind of like hippie person if you meditate. Yeah. And I'm so happy now that it's becoming more socially acceptable, because it is so beneficial for so many different things. So yeah, how are you finding that then? Like, you're really finding it's helping?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I'm getting used to it. I think I'm between 5 and 10 minutes now, but there's a new like meditation that comes on that app every day, and I just do it. I actually get out the house and actually do it in my car before I go in the gym. So if anyone's pulled up next to me at the gym and they just see me like but yeah, so it just helps because there's no distractions then. I do 5-10 minutes. Just, it takes your mind does wander, and I do start thinking, about what I've got to do in the next hour with work and stuff. But, as he's in your ear saying, bring yourself back to breath, and then I feel a lot calmer. So it's definitely working for me. And then the training sessions are non-negotiable for me. Like, I have to, get that done, because I used to in the past wait until the afternoon, and I was getting stressed with work. And then I was like, oh my God, like my training session's not as good. I'm rushing it. What am I doing? Whereas now it's like, no, focus on me first, because when I prioritize myself, I'm better at home. I'm better, I'm better with my clients and everything else. So I think I think everyone should focus on themselves first. and then, you know, look at your phone and pick up when Claudia rings you and stuff like that. You know, so do all that second once you've got yourself out of the way.
In the evenings, do you find it easy to switch off, or are you someone who kind of finds it hard? Because I know there's a lot of people who, if you're really busy, you kind of find it hard to just be like, right, work's done for the day, let's relax. You know?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think as a PT, you'll know, it is hard. And one thing I've always struggled with, like I'm learning now, I'm getting better, but I've always struggled with filling blank time with work. So if I've got half an hour between lunch and going to, you know, I don't know, going to the shops or whatever, that will be work. Whereas I'm trying to go, you know what, I'm actually better when I take periods of time off. Like while I've been on holiday just there, yes, I posted a few things about the Fat Loss Challenge and a few things about results with Ryan. Very minimal though. It actually allowed me to think of new things and, you know, the direction of the business and stuff. And I think I'm more creative when I do switch off more, but I am learning to get better at that. I have always struggled with the evenings and, you know, switching off and trying not to be on my phone and stuff. I've definitely got better though now, and I kind of need to, because at the end of the day, like I was reading I'm still reading it, Ant Middleton's book, what's it called? Zero Negative? I can't remember what it's called now, but and he talks about, and it's true, like your family is more important than anything. Do you know what I mean? It's more important than business. It's more important. Yes, you need, you know, income to survive and put food on the table, but realistically, what you've always got is family. So that for me is something that I've definitely, you know, not learned to prioritize, but it's become a real forefront of my life now. And I've realized why I'm doing things. Whereas before I was probably a little bit selfish, you know, like just cracking on and work and doing this. But now it's like, no, I've got a reason for what I'm doing. And yes, I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. But now it's got that added like spark. I'm like, no, this needs to work because I've got a little one. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people feel guilty. A lot of people feel guilty about like, you know, switching off and having that like relaxing time in the evening, when actually like you need that, and also like you deserve it. Like you're allowed, like you know, no one's expected to work like 12 hours a day. Like, you know what I mean? It's, you know, you kind of need that time, so no one should feel guilty about it.
Yeah. So kind of like
I think you need to set boundaries as a PT. I think it depends how, like in the past, I've just been like replying to people at like, you know, 10, 11 at night. And like, your client will respect you more if they know actually, you know, after 6 o'clock, that's their time. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the time of the family. That's their, you know, 95% of clients should and will respect that and respect the boundaries, because I think you need to create those to give yourself time to switch off so you can give the clients more as well. So yeah, it's important, but it is difficult, especially as a personal trainer, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's ever a point where I don't have a message on my phone from a client, and it's so tempting all the time. Like even one thing that I've been quite bad at and I've started to stop doing recently is in between my sets at the gym, when I'd be having like a 2-3 minute rest in between my workout, I'd go on my phone and reply to clients. And it's something that my coach actually said to me, Grace, you need to stop doing that, because he was like, this is your time. You should just set aside this 1 hour a day that's completely focused on you, because then, like you said, once you look after yourself, you can then look after your clients 10 times better.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I've probably only stopped doing that. Like I've been doing this 4 years. Is it 4 years? Something like that. 4 years now. And, you know, probably the past few months I've only stopped doing that. So it's hard because it's tempting. You know, for me, it might be messaging my PA and just saying like, oh, you know, have you done this? And over the past few months I've gone, what am I doing? This is my training session. Just relax, listen to music, crack on with your session. That can wait. No one's. So something that stuck with me, someone said, and I know it's quite bleak, but someone said like, no one's going to die if you don't get back to them in personal training. Now, do you know what I mean? We're not doctors. So people can wait and they'll respect that.
Yeah. So in terms of switching off and kind of leading on from what we've been discussing, so I'm sure loads of your clients are kind of busy professionals who have to wake up at a certain time every day, and their life is very much revolved and structured around their kind of like 9 to 5 work. Because I have quite a few clients who are saying, okay, well, I can't be that flexible because I've got this 9 to 5 work, and by the time, or they say, I don't want to wake up super early to go to the gym before work, and by the time I get home I'm too tired to work out. What would be your advice for those people?
Ooh, do you want me to be like brutal? I've had that.
You both.
Yeah. I think people need to get their priorities right a lot of the time. And, you know, if you've signed up to a coach, you know, you've invested, like, it baffles me sometimes when people don't crack on with what they've been given. Because I'm like, you've invested your hard-earned money in getting a result. And yes, there may be some dross in the industry that don't deliver on their end in terms of coaching. But, you know, if you find a good coach, you've done your research, like, you'll be getting everything you need to get the results. Like, why are you wasting that money? That's one thing that, like, fries my head. But priorities can change. People have things going on in their life, and I totally get that. So, you know, like, you have to make some form of sacrifice somewhere. And if that means getting up early to get more steps in and make your lunch, then I think you need to do it. If it means, you know, staying in bed till 8 and you're leaving the house at 8:30, you're getting to work for 9, that's fine. But then don't be leaving work going, you know, yeah, you might have had a stressful day, you might be knackered, you might be tired, but again, carve out that half an hour to an hour for you, because I promise you at the end of this process, you will feel so much better. Again, it's about building habits. People who've not done this for longer than, you know, 3 weeks haven't built the habit, so they don't know what it feels like yet. So it's those first few weeks are really crucial. So I think as a coach, it's important to stay on top of them, make sure they check in, and you know, be supportive. And, you know, you got to be understanding. People have problems. I'm not like saying, like, you know, ignore all the problems and stuff and tell them to crack on and be like a militant man, but you need to, there has got to be some give somewhere, and you've got to work with a client. You know, it's a relationship, a coach and a client, and you need to have that understanding that, you know, I'll deliver my best to you, but you've got to give something back. Something's got to give. And I think the hardest clients, not the hardest, but now I've seen how hard it is. And I like single mums, right? And now I've seen with a child, and obviously Louise has got me and stuff as well there for support, but I've worked with a few single mums, and I know how, like, time wise, like, they'll be tight for time. Like, that's hard, because it's like saying we need to try and find, like, you know, half an hour, just carve that time out for you. But it's hard because it's so unpredictable. So it's, yeah, I'd say that's probably the most difficult client, but it can be done because I've seen it be done. But those people who say I've not got time, or do you not want to make time? That's the classic, isn't it?
What challenges would you say you kind of have to face being a man training women? Because, well, yeah.
Yeah. I've always, and I think every PT should do this. Anyone who's not, you know, that's really bad. Any, like, transformation photo that I've ever got, I've never, you know, forced someone to do it or anything. I know some people are more self-conscious and it's not right, you know, but when people do sign up, I do, in the initial check-in form, say, look, there's going to be photos, you know, this is going to show your physical journey, because at the end of the day, I'm not a weight loss coach. Yes, we'll monitor your weight, but I'd rather you focus on the way you feel, the way your physical changes show through your photos, your clothes fitting and everything else, 100%. Rather than the scale number, because as a female, you'll know that can fluctuate a lot, the scale, whereas the physical changes don't lie. Yes, there's times where you may be more bloated and stuff and you don't want to take a photo or whatever on those days, but yeah, I think just being, like, open and honest with females and saying, look, like, it's a good idea to do it, I can't make you do it, but it's part of the journey and it allows me to monitor your progress better. And also, when, you know, if we've got a result 3 months, generally at first people can be quite, you know, reluctant to do it. They do it, they're scared, and then, you know, I've got someone who actually I'm going to share today who's lost like 4 stone. Her changes are amazing, And she's just grown in confidence now to the point where it's like, yeah, like I'm happy to just send these photos and she'll actually just send them. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and I think you always need to ask if you're ever to like share on social media a transformation photo. You have to ask. That is like, I'm pretty sure 99% of PT, well, 100% should be, but you should always ask. It's consent. You need that written consent from someone. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing I'd answer to that.
Yeah. And in terms of course, so like you were saying towards the very beginning of the podcast, so of course there are certain differences within training men and women in terms of like the actual physical exercises, but obviously a massive difference is obviously females having menstrual cycles. So do you find that like your clients are like quite comfortable with like speaking about that with you, because it can affect us like quite a lot in terms of training and results and things like that?
Yeah, and you know, going back to the earlier question as well, what's been a big thing on that is, but I'd say, yeah, I've never had a client not really be open on that front. I think it's important, you know, you need to listen to your body, you know, you need to step back, you know, when your training sessions maybe aren't going to be as productive for different phases of the cycle. But I think going back to the other question, I think a big part of this, yes, the clients are open, but the actual group itself, the community results with Ryan, because it's all females, there's a lot of them in there that are sharing, you know, oh, I'm struggling this week, it's my time of the month, blah, 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 I'm feeling a little bit down. And, you know, most of the time people are like, right, enjoy that chocolate, do this, do that. And, you know, people are beating me to the answers half the time, because as a guy, obviously I don't go through that. I've read books and I've studied it. But having those females that are also, you know, you go through that, so you have got a better understanding, and everyone's different. So many females I've worked with are different, and I've worked with females that say, look, I don't get any cravings. I've worked with some that like eat, you know, so much. So everyone's different, I know that, but the group side of things has been massively beneficial in the understanding side of things as well, and seeing, you know, how people go about the different phases and the cravings and different things that come with it. So yeah, I totally get it.
What would be, if there are any male coaches listening who want to train females or who are training women, what would be your advice to them?
I think this would be general advice to anyone. I think, yeah, be patient, be understanding. You know, as females, you go through a lot more than guys, like with your bodies, you know, as we said, the menstrual cycle and stuff. So be understanding and don't expect, you know, every week to be the same. There's going to be different things that crop up, but I'd just say, you know, I think it's the same for anything. I'd be the same if I was training a guy as well. You know, understanding, listen to the person, you know, don't just tell them what they should and shouldn't do. What are they actually worried about? What are they struggling with? And take that and give them the best advice you can. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that's one of the most key things as a coach is you need to have empathy with your clients, and you need to be understanding, supportive, respectful. So yeah, I do actually agree with you that how you should treat a female client isn't actually that much different to how you should have empathy for your male clients as well.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like training stuff, I know we said earlier, training, for me, it would be very similar. Resistance, I know, you know, I've been working with guys like to train the chest and stuff a bit more, so there'd be some differences and things like that. But yeah, from a training standpoint, quite similar. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Just listen to the client and make sure, you know, they know you've got the back, but also, as we said earlier, don't spoon feed them. They also need to learn, because every client that works with me, I want them to, whether they sign up for 3 or 6 months, at the end of that period, some will stay on for longer. I want them to know exactly what they need to do to continue getting results.
Yeah, amazing. One massive thing that we spoke slightly about it before actually starting the podcast, but in terms of weight loss and fat loss, one of the most important things is having the correct mindset towards it. And also, I know emotional eating can kind of play into that quite a lot. Do you want to speak through some of that stuff, please?
Yeah, so mindset's a big thing on you. In fact, it's probably the most important thing.
Definitely.
If your mindset's not right, or you're not in the right headspace for it, then you're probably not going to make the best progress. Everything needs to be aligned, from your sleep to your mindset, to your water intake, to your movement, to your training, to your relationships, to your friendships and lifestyle and all these things that all come into play. Mindset's something I've read, I've got some books behind me here. I've read a lot into self-help, personal development and mindset, but it's really important to have, it's easy to say a positive mindset, but a driven, a strong mindset towards what you want to do, and make sure at that time of your life it's the right thing to do, whether it's signing up to a coach or whatever, and make sure it is something that you can commit to and that your head's in the right place realistically. And how you go about that is this. I mean, there's so many different techniques, and reading for me is a massive thing from a mindset, and the meditating we said. I've also got you mentioned emotional eating there, but I've got a mindset coach within the group who delivers a lot of information on this. We do the monthly mindset sessions, and so she's a psychologist, and she can go to that more expert level on that, and that's been a great addition to the team. But I think mindset is super important. Mega. You've got your lifestyle, your mindset, your nutrition, training, accountability. Those sorts of things are really important on any coaching journey.
Yeah, definitely. And if you, or with your clients who do struggle with emotional eating, what would be your first port of call with them? Because I know that I've definitely had lots of clients who have or who believe they do emotional eat, and I think there's so many people across the world and listening who will at some point have had struggles with this. So what would you kind of say to them?
Emotional eating, so it's a tough one. It is it's a minefield, and I know everyone's different. We had some guests on who did a great talk, March on, about the actually thinking about the pausing type of thing. Do you really want to eat that? Is there a reason? I'm trying to look at the reason behind that. What would you do? I'm going to ask you this question. What would you do? What would you do? I'm going to put this on you. What would you do?
I would probably say to them, if for example it's kind of going in the direction of an eating disorder, I definitely refer them to a nutritionist or dietitian, a doctor, someone who has a lot more knowledge than I do. But like you said, getting them to stop, think about things, also starting to look at food in a different way or a different aspect, so trying to kind of make them see food as fuel and all of that kind of thing, and how that can kind of how food can really benefit them in that sense. But also it's not really my area of expertise.
I think the just acknowledging this, and as you said, look at food a little bit differently. And for me as a coach, if I do see someone's really putting pressure on themselves to look a certain way, it's trying to get them to be no, but how do you feel, and why? I've had clients in the past that have just wanted to be lean. It's that's great, but what's it for? Do you know what I mean? Do you actually feel good? And if the answer is I don't feel as good as I thought, then we need to change that. We need to get those calories up. We need to get your energy up. We need to get you feeling good. And I think, as you said there, identifying when it gets to a point where it does look like an eating disorder or something, then it's referring them to the right person. And we've got someone who can definitely help with that, Results with Ryan, and as you said, they're nutritionist as well, a dietitian, sorry. It's knowing when to identify it, I think, and it's generally obvious if the client's opening the check-ins and stuff where things are heading, but I've not had it too much, to be honest. Generally, I found a lot of clients that have come to me who's maybe had an eating disorder. It's a lot of the time they say it's because in the past they've been given a plan that's super strict, and they can't do anything, and they've been told to track every single thing to an ounce, like literally, and it's developed this like obsession. So for me, one thing I definitely like to do at Results Ryan is give them that flexibility and that freedom. And do you know what? You can eat what you want. You really can. And I think the results I've had with clients prove that. You just need to be mindful of the calories. I tend to give my clients a range. So rather than going, you need to hit 1,560 calories, it's, okay, no, you need to hit between 15 and 1,700. You've got that range, you've got that flexibility. It's going to give you a bit more freedom. If you go over, so be it. You can always bring it back the next day, or just accept that that's a day you've just eaten a little bit more, or you go under, vice versa. Same with protein. I tend to give my clients a protein target, and if they're 10 grams under or over, that's fine. I don't set my clients, which probably a lot of PTs do, carbs and fat goals. I don't do that. I've never done that because I think it creates a lot of stress on the client to try and hit too many macros, when realistically the results you will get will come from the calories and protein. For me, carbs and fats just make up the rest of the calories after protein have been filled in. So some clients will work well off high carbs, some clients will work well off high fat. It's about finding that what works for you within your diet. And we educate at Results with Ryan on how to track your calories. And if clients have got questions, they can just call. I give them weekly calls and stuff as well. So I think I've rambled on a lot there, haven't I?
No, it's amazing. Thank you so much. I think that's all the questions that we've got for you today. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast. It's been so insightful. So thank you so much.
If anyone would like to find you, where can they find you?
So it's at Atkin Coaching on Instagram. And as I said, my Results with Ryan is... you generally put it on Instagram, but the group is on Facebook and stuff. At Atkin Coaching is my handle. And thank you to you, by the way. And it's been good to see your podcast grow and stuff since you've started it. So
thank
you. And it was nice to meet you, obviously down in Leicester, weren't it? Was it Leicester?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.